If you ever had a look at the bottom of any packaged product at your home, maybe you had noticed this chasing error symbol that's surrounding numbers from 1 till 7. And maybe you ask yourself what all this mean. And what is more important, is it recyclable or not? And today we are going to discuss all these questions together because you're on my Travel and Recycle channel. My name is Hanna Shagurina, and here we are discussing sustainable life tips and tricks. No silly questions. That is the name of the playlist where you can find different answers for popular questions for those who are starting their sustainable life journey, or maybe for those who are quite advanced already. So let's go. So as you already know, chasing error sign means recycling process. But what numbers mean? For plastic, it's numbers from 1 till 7. For other type of materials like metal, glass, paper, there are different numbers. And I don't think that it's that confusing, but later we will cover this topic as well. So speaking about plastic, these numbers from 1 till 7, it's something that is very confusing, especially for beginners. I was in your shoes, guys, and when I started my recycling journey, when I was not that recycling nerd as I am right now, I was very, very confused how to distinguish these different types of plastic, what is recyclable, what is not, how to divide them. Yeah, so it's not that difficult. So today I will help you to navigate yourself. So we have 7 numbers for plastic recycling. And very soon you will notice that not all of them are very good and very kind of popular for recycling. Some of them are more popular, some of them are kind of outsiders in recycling world. But despite I'm saying popular for recycling, it still means that recycling have very, very limited number of iterations for recycling. So don't be fooled and always try to minimize your packaging waste and try to avoid package as much as you can, because packaging is something that is creating most of the waste and most of your recycling bin content. So be conscious and try to avoid it. But before we'll start, press like, press subscribe button. It all will help my YouTube channel to grow. Thank you. And we are starting today with number 1, which correlates to PET 1 plastic. I even made a separate video for this topic. I would add the link here, and I strongly recommend you to watch this video because we uncovered lots of myths about this popular plastic type. And today, my main goal is to say you something that I forget to tell you in the last video. How to identify this popular plastic type. First of all, for sure, it's number 1 in the chasing errors triangle. But another life hack how to find out is to find this dot at the bottom, and you will even touch it and feel like, yeah, there is something like a bottom dot. So that would be the ideal sign for you to check, yeah, this is PET 1. So yeah, that is the life hack. I would say that, yeah, this is the most popular plastic type and it's widely recyclable. But when I say widely, just again, don't be fooled. It's still about 20%, not that huge number, unfortunately. And for plastic recycling, the color matters, especially for PET 1 plastic. Why I say that? Just because when you're choosing some light colors of the plastic, it will be easier to recycle them to new products. And if you are choosing the dark color of your plastic, for example, maybe black, maybe even pink, it would be much more difficult to create new products. How it's working? When the plastic is recycled, the process looks like you make smaller pieces of the plastic and then it can be colored into new color. And it's much more easier to create something from the light colors than from black or pink, right? Therefore, try to avoid this strange looking plastic, because I saw some bottles in the shops, and try to stick in case you buy something packaging. I hope you're not, but still, it's an unavoidable part of our world. Therefore, try to stick to light colored plastic. That is the key. Moving on. second type of plastic called HDPE. I will not bother you with the abbreviation. The key thing to remember that this plastic is also popular one for recycling, so consider it to be kind of on the good side of recycling world. Where you can find this second type of plastic and how to identify it. I have something else to show you today. So this is another chemical that I use to clean my house. So this also will ask you to look at the bottom of the bottle. So here you can find the line and there is no dot. If comparing with PET one, there is a line and that is clear distinguishing sign for HDPE second type of plastic. So also easy to reconcile. So as you already know, there are some products that are created from HDPE type of plastic. Usually it's some chemical products. You can easily find it in your bedroom where you store your chemical products. For food, I would say it's more rare usage, but still there are some cases. And it's also recycled into new similar products, like also packaging for some chemicals, also new pipes maybe, some containers, for example, recycling containers, why not? So yeah, it's quite widely popular, but again, with a disclaimer that in case you can avoid some packaged plastic, please do that. Number 3 corresponds to PVC. Important disclaimer for this plastic type, never ever burn PVC because it will release toxins. Actually, being very honest, do not burn any plastic type because it's a very bad idea. But with PVC, just be very, very careful. And again, if you're hesitating what to do with this plastic type, better check your local municipality's rules because again, unfortunately, not all municipalities accept it for recycling. So it's better to check recycling rules. But unfortunately, maybe we do not face this plastic type very often in our lives because again, it's like pipes and windows. How often we dispose this type of things in our lives, right? Therefore, it should be quite a rare exercise. And before you do any decisions for disposal, check your local municipality's rules. Number 4 correlates to LDPE. Even the name of this plastic sounds like something stretchy. Yeah, the distinguishing feature for this plastic type is that it can be stretched quite easily. I took one of my packaging that I use for frozen foods, also to buy products without packaging because I reuse these bags lots of times and it's a very, very cool one. I like it. So you can find this plastic type widely in your life. You can find it in any packaging almost from the food shops, like bread. It can be also some yogurts, maybe some milk products. You can find it also in orders from one famous furniture producer. I will not name this. And they also package furniture details into 4th type of plastic. Is it recyclable? Yes, it's quite widely recyclable across the world. But here again, important disclaimer, to create big enough portion of plastic for recycling, you should try to do your best just because imagine this plastic is very light-weighted and therefore it's difficult to create big enough portion for recycling to make it cost-effective. So again, try to avoid plastic packaging as much as you can, but in case you have something already packaged and that you cannot avoid, send it for recycling at least because it's highly recyclable. Moving on. Number 5 corresponds to a plastic type which is called polypropylene. So usually it's used like abbreviation PEP. It's widely popular across the world to package some shampoo products. Also, for example, cups that you have on your PET one plastic bottles are usually made from 5 plastic type. So it's widely popular, and therefore the guess would be that it's widely acceptable for recycling, but it's not that straightforward in this case. Previously, it was not accepted at all. Right now, across the world, I see the tendency that it's more and more popular, and that's why it's getting more and more popular for recycling. So be conscious again with this plastic type. But in general, yeah, it's accepted for recycling. Check again your local recycling rules. And here is a kind reminder that I have travelandrecycle.com website where I collected recycling rules across the world. So feel free to check. Maybe you'll find something interesting for you. So speaking about recyclability, after this plastic type can be recycled, you can create new products such as, for example, ice scrapers, bins, brushes, some new trays. Interesting examples. So don't forget to add it to your recycling bin. It will be then used for new products with recycled content inside. Okay, guys, 2 numbers left. Number 6 corresponds to plastic type PS, but it's widely known as a styrofoam. Styrofoam, it's very famous and my not favorite type of plastic at all, just because it creates lots of troubles for the nature. Imagine, when you have the styrofoam as a packaging material, you for sure face the situation when smaller pieces of it will be everywhere across your room, and then, surprise, surprise, it will be in nature, just because when you throw it away, it's also easy to crush it. And then again, these smaller pieces of styrofoam will be everywhere on the street. And then it appears also, in rivers, in oceans. And again, it's creating lots of troubles. And therefore, we should avoid it as much as we can. Another big disadvantage of this plastic type, it's very bad with recycling. What I mean here, this plastic type, as I mentioned, is lightweighted. This is something as an advantage, but here also a trick, just because it's 98% of air inside of this plastic type. It's very difficult to collect big enough portion of styrofoam for recycling. Therefore, yeah, it took lots of space for storaging, and at the same time, it's like 98% it's air, and again, it's creating lots of troubles for the environment. Therefore, in case you can avoid this plastic type, please do this. Interesting point that this is not only styrofoam that we use for packaging, but also these packaging containers that we use for takeaway food. It's also created from this styrofoam material. So, guys, I encourage you to buy something reusable and reuse it as much as you can, and try to avoid this easy to go, easy to pack styrofoam material, just because, again, this is pain in the ass, I would say. Yeah. Okay, the last but not the least, number 7. Number 7 corresponds to other. Other type of plastic includes everything that is not included into previous categories. And this is interesting point, just because right now some biodegradable things are included also into this type of plastic. I made a separate video about biodegradable plastic. I am very conservative about accepting this material, but also there are good initiatives about biodegradability, and they're all included into the 7th type of the plastic. So check the link. What about recyclability? Here it's very, very tricky, because usually everything that is marked as a 7 type of plastic will never be recycled. Never. Just because it can contaminate the whole portion of the other recyclable materials. Therefore, producers avoid to add it because it's unknown. We don't know what is other. It can be like something recyclable, can be not. And therefore, to avoid contamination, it's not used in the recycling process. So in case you see number 7, try to avoid it and make this decision before you make your purchase decision. Yeah, it's important to be conscious at the very beginning of your consumer journey. They've covered 7 numbers of plastic types. But what should you do in case there is no number and no recycling sign on your packaging? Is it recyclable? Can you judge just based on the dot on the bottom, or maybe the line that we discussed that it's like a distinguishing feature for HDPE? Unfortunately, I would say my personal recommendation not to send it for recycling in case there is no recycling sign and no number on it. Just because, again, there is a huge risk that there is something that is already created from different materials, like 7th type of plastic, for example, and it will automatically mean that you will contaminate the whole area of recyclable materials. Therefore, in case you can avoid purchase of this unknown plastic type, please avoid. And in case you already have it at home, please maybe try not to add it to recycling bin, because again, it can be something that is not recyclable at all. I also promised you to cover the other recycled materials like glass, paper, cardboard, aluminium. I believe it's not a problem for you to distinguish where is what and place it to the right recycling bin. But the tricky story here is not to mix it with something that is non-recyclable. Because, for example, Tetra Pak, very popular packaging material that is very often mixed with paper, which is not necessarily the paper. And there are lots of other different mistakes that people do during recycling. So I thought maybe I should create a separate video about recycling mistakes and to uncover some myths and also some popular mistakes that people do during recycling process. Let me know in comments if it's a useful video for you. And I appreciate your support of my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to press like. I highly appreciate that you helping my YouTube channel to grow. Let's spread the word about sustainability. Share this video with your friends who starting their recycling journey. Share with your relatives who hesitated how to recycle things properly. This is something that will help us all to spread the word about sustainability. Stay green, stay tuned, and see you soon. Bye!